Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this morning about e-commerce on the rise, how to succeed in the US market. First up, let me introduce myself. My name is Caroline Raillet, and I am Trade Deputy at Flanders Investment and Trade in New York. Of course, since this is a Flanders Investment and Trade webinar this afternoon, I assume that most of you know the services that we offer. However, in a nutshell, we help Flemish companies expand and export into the United States, but we also attract foreign direct investment coming into Flanders from the US. We do not do this alone. We have 5 different offices in the US. We have an office in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Houston, and Atlanta. And then, of course, in New York. I also want to thank everyone here today for all the questions that you submitted beforehand. Since this is a more general presentation, we will try to cover as many questions as possible. But of course, some of them were very sector and detail oriented. So for those questions, I would advise you maybe to email me afterwards at newyork@fitagency.com, and we will try to help you further with that. We also noticed that there were a lot of questions related to the legal and the tax aspect when it comes to e-commerce. And because of that, we decided this week to organize a follow-up webinar after this one on December 3rd, where there will be a legal and a tax specialist present, and we will go over each and every one of your questions and try to help you further. But more importantly today, of course, the speakers. First, we have 2 Charlottes. First up is Charlotte Volcke. She's the CEO and founder of Pinch Marketing, a company that helps other companies launch their e-commerce purposes in the US. And she's based on the West Coast in California. Next up is Charlotte Meirschaert. She's business development manager at Bekina Boots. And she will give an overview, a testimonial of her experiences in the United States and their e-commerce success. A couple of do's and don'ts before we start today's webinar. Of course, please mute your microphone, switch off your camera. You can post all your questions in the chat, and after both speakers have presented, we will go over your questions during our Q&A, and a copy of your presentation will be sent to you afterwards. So in the next couple of days, you can expect that. So without further ado, our first speaker, Charlotte Volcke, as mentioned, CEO and founder of Pinch Marketing. Charlotte, the floor is yours.
We can't hear you. I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I'll start over. So thank you for the great introduction, Caroline, and thank you everyone for joining. It's great to see that there's so much interest in the US e-commerce as a whole. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But before, I just want to briefly introduce myself. So I'm Charlotte Volcke. I was born and raised in Belgium, in the Roeselare area to be more specific. And I moved to the US about 8 years ago. At that time, I worked with a cookware company, which is a Belgian company producing pots and pans. And their most well-known brand is Green Pan. So for the cookware company, I started working in sales on multiple retailer accounts, from a Williams-Sonoma to a Macy's to Target to Walmart. But then I also started working on Amazon as a new account for the company. A very little belief in e-commerce at that time, but it was definitely the moment where I discovered my true passion for e-commerce, because I quickly noticed that growing your business on e-commerce and on Amazon was highly depending on your own effort. Hence, my responsibilities grew to developing and leading the e-commerce team and marketing team for the company, which is now a huge business for the company and a significant percentage of their business in the US. After working for the cookware company for about 9 years, I decided to gather my knowledge and experience and help other brands launch e-commerce and retail in the US, which is why I started Pinch last year. And the rest is history. So now let's talk some e-commerce, because that's what you're all here for, of course. Some quick agenda. First,
Charlotte, maybe a quick interruption. We can't see your screen, so maybe share it for your presentation.
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
Let me see. Can you see it now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. So here is the agenda for today, everyone, and sorry about the technical issues. So first, we'll briefly talk about the current situation of e-commerce in the US market. Sales and marketing. We'll touch a few other essential steps that are necessary to grow your business online, and then I'll share some of my final thoughts. So first, e-commerce and the United States. And yeah, the coronavirus. I'm sure most of you want to talk about something else. Since everyone is pretty much done with this virus, definitely in times when it's so dominating, as in Belgium right now, but there's no way around it. The coronavirus is the biggest disruption to consumer retail spending patterns in recent history. Retail stores have been because of closures, because of people being scared to go to stores when they're open, and because of social distancing policies. But e-commerce, on the other hand, has grown tremendously in the States and is bigger than ever due to the pandemic's massive demand, shock, but also due to store closures and stay-at-home orders. So I quickly, on the following slide, want to highlight just a few things about this, but I feel that everyone probably knows this already, so we'll quickly dive into the strategy part of this presentation. First of all, some winning retailers. There's definitely winners within our post-COVID disruption, and that's first of all Amazon. Amazon has grown tremendously, and of course they were fully set up for this to happen, for this increase in demand on e-commerce. So they are for sure a winner. Secondly, click and collect retailers. What I mean with this is the grocery stores like a Walmart.com, like a Target.com, where you can easily purchase online, but also can go for a curbside pickup at the store. And then in general, retail stores with a strong e-commerce presence. So retail stores that were prepared to grow online are in general performing pretty well as well. Some winning product categories, food and beverage, probably not a surprise. Everyone has probably been eating and drinking just a little bit more, definitely a winning category. But also health, personal care, and beauty are strong performing categories here in the States. And home improvements, but also home goods. Yeah, people put more money in their home because they're hanging out there so often. Some struggling retailers are department stores in general. Why? Because they need the traffic in the stores, of course, and many of those are also heavily depending on apparel or on fashion, which is one of the struggling categories. Small businesses without e-commerce presence, your mom and around the corner, we see as struggling today. And then just some product categories that are struggling as well. For sure, luxury items, a part of fashion and apparel, travel, accessories and bags, and the automotive industry. And this is just a segment. This is just a highlight. There's definitely more on both sides, but I just wanted to quickly start with this. So now more towards practicalities, because I think everyone wants to learn how to launch a business and grow on e-commerce. So this is basically a cyclus that we follow at Pinch, starting with a clear sales and marketing strategy, then looking into your catalog. Is your catalog set up for success on e-commerce? Thirdly, content and review enhancements. This is king. Content is king. We'll talk about that more. Promotional planning, very important everywhere, but definitely in the States. And then digital tactics, anything marketing related to support your launch. Daily monitoring communication is a 6th point. And I just want to mention that e-commerce is hard work. It's not just putting a product online and selling it. That's not what's gonna do the trick. You have to invest time and expertise in this. So first, let's talk about the sales and marketing strategy. In this section, I will speak about the 3 key e-commerce channels. So this is based on my experience and my knowledge, but I very much believe in these 3 pillars of e-commerce to be successful in the US market, definitely when combined. And those 3 pillars are, first of all, a branded e-shop, so having your own branded e-shop. Secondly, selling on Amazon. And thirdly, partnering with marketing accounts. Just FYI, it's not a must to start with these 3 pillars at once from the start. It's perfectly possible, depending on your brand, that you first want to focus just on marketing accounts or just on your e-shop, and in a later stage on Amazon, or the other way around. It really highly depends on the product, the type of product that you have, but it's important to keep all 3 of these in mind. So let me elaborate on each and every single one of these. So a branded e-shop, of course, what's so strong about your own e-shop? The branding about it. The fact that you can tell your own story in the way that you want, use your own visuals, use your own copy, provide the whole assortment that you have to your consumer. So that's what's very typical for an e-shop. Amazon, selling on Amazon, of course, what do you want to achieve with selling on Amazon is mass reach. Huge amount of people shop on Amazon. It's even a fact that lots of people start their search for a product on Amazon. Imagine that you need diapers for your kids. Lots of people don't go to Google to find a store who sells diapers. No, they go to Amazon, they put it in, and then they buy the products. So a very powerful tool, of course. But also Amazon is known for their best deals. So you will always find the lowest price on Amazon. Not that they go below the prices of other retailers, but they always look out for the lowest price in the industry and will make sure that their products are sold at that price too. Thirdly, partnering with marketing accounts. And I feel this is definitely a segment that needs a little bit more of an explanation, because marketing accounts, it's basically very, very broad. So these are retailers or e-commerce players that are known in the industry and that target a specific customer or specialize in a more curated product assortments. People browse on their websites to find inspiration because they trust and appreciate the selection of the retailer and then buy their products. So it's very depending on the products that you sell, which marketing accounts would be a fit for you. For example, if you have a fashion brand, you'll target Nordstrom as an example. If you have a food or a beverage brand, you'll target Whole Foods or Fresh Directs. If you have a furniture brand, you'll target West Elm. If you have a housewares brand, you'll target Williams-Sonoma. So it's very depending on your niche and on the product that you're selling. But these are the brand builders. So through these e-commerce platforms, you can present your brands easily. You can build your brands. They tell your story, and it's focusing on a very targeted shopper. So please allow me to show the interaction between these different target groups, these different channels. So first of all, if you have a branded e-shop, customers can explore your products on the e-shop, but they want to find the best deal. So that's when they go from your e-shop to Amazon. Secondly, when a customer explores your product on Amazon, but there's only a small selection of your assortment available, they will go to your e-shop to figure out more about the brand and buy and get access to the bigger collection. The brand's e-shop and marketing accounts now. So customers can explore your product on the marketing accounts, but want to find a full collection of the e-shop and learn more about the brand. That's when they go to your e-shop. And then customers explore their brands on the e-shop, but prefer to shop with known retailers because some of these retailers have credit cards that belong to the store only, which comes with certain benefits, or they have a point system where you can get certain deals. Well, that's when the customer will go to the marketing accounts. And then lastly, when a customer is exploring your product on a marketing account, on a Nordstrom.com, and they want to find the best deal, they go to Amazon. Or the other way around, they explore your products on Amazon, but prefer a curated or even an exclusive assortment with a trusted retailer. Well, that's when they go to the marketing accounts. So this shows a little bit, how the different channels work and how they very much interact with each other. But now I just want to show a little bit more about, or talk about the benefits and the challenges a little bit more about each and every single one of these. So talking about the brand eShop, of course, what's the biggest benefits of your brand eShop? It's building your brand online. You have the chance to really tell your story in all its glory, with the right pictures, with lots of copy that really describes the brands. You can tell about the history, you can talk about the future. There's just so many things that you can present on your own eShop, on your own websites. A second huge benefit is that you can develop an engaging community. So you have access to your shoppers. People who buy a product, you'll have data of those people buying that product. And you can communicate with them. You can get full access to the customer base and also develop that email database and send emails out whenever you have a new launch, whenever you have your promotion going on. So that's very powerful about an eShop. Another strong point is, of course, that you can sell your products directly to the customers at higher margins. So you don't have to give a part of your margin to a retailer or to Amazon. So those are the benefits, but of course, there are some challenges. And I think the biggest challenge for an eShop is generating targeted traffic and capturing quality leads. If you just put your eShop online, probably there's not a lot that will happen. You will need to drive traffic to your eShop by working with influencers, by setting up partnerships, by getting certain press. So that's definitely a challenge. But also, defining what your marketing budget is and making sure that you have a profitable long-term growth. It's not always easy to define what the right budget is that you have to spend to get enough traffic to your own eShop. Thirdly, it takes time. It builds at a slower pace. So you have to take this into account before you start building your own e-shop. And then lastly, customer service expectations. Yes, customer is very much king or queen here in the US. That was one of the biggest shocks to me when I moved to the US, customers expect the world here. Everyone should be able to return their products. Everyone expects fast shipments. Everyone expects the world, basically, just because they're your customer. And that's also what most brands do. So be prepared for that. Make sure that that's a part of your business plan when you start your own e-shop. Talking about Amazon, well, of course, the biggest advantage I feel about working with Amazon is that you get access to a huge amount of potential shoppers with national coverage. As I said before, lots of people start their search on Amazon for a certain product. So you get access to just lots of people just wanting to shop. Another huge benefit is their fulfillment centers. So Amazon being such a big e-commerce player, they have fulfillment centers all around the country. And that's very powerful. So I think, and I saw this message or this question a few times, as a Belgian company, is it possible to do business with Amazon just based on out of Belgium, just shipping out of Belgium? And the answer is initially, yes, you can do that. You can send a batch of products to Amazon. It will take, of course, a while for it to be shipped and for it to be completely ready to be sold in the warehouse. But it's a good first step to start off your business. So that is an option. A third benefit of working with Amazon is their subscription model, Amazon Prime. Prime members pay a fee once a year to be an Amazon Prime member, but then you get shipments within 2 days, and you get lots of other benefits. So this pretty much made American shoppers pretty much used to the 2-day shipments, and that's also what all other retailers are trying to achieve. Fourth benefit is start making money faster. And I don't say fast because you still have to go through a setup process, and there's still lots of things that you have to do before you can actually make money. But it will definitely go a lot faster than setting up your own e-shop or working together with marketing accounts. You also have a level playing field with big brands. And what I mean with this is that Amazon offers certain tools, certain marketing tools where you can sponsor your products, where you can make sure that they show up on the first page. Of course, this comes at a price, but it is possible to get there on that front page and to really play on the same field with those bigger brands. Going to the challenges, and there's many challenges, but these to me are a few of the biggest ones. You need a marketing budget. If you start working with Amazon, but there's no budget in marketing, I honestly don't think you should do it. It's not going to work unless you have a very niche product that is not available yet, but you have to foresee a budget to spend on Amazon's marketing tools. Secondly, is your product category a fit? In general for e-commerce, but specifically for Amazon. For example, frozen foods, for example, temperature sensitive foods, alcoholic beverages. These are categories that are a little tricky. I don't know the most details about this, but it's just something that you have to really consider in advance. Brand registry is a third challenge. And with brand registry, I mean having your trademark of your brands in the US. You can launch a brand without trademark in the US, but you will not have access to certain great tools that Amazon offers, like detail pages, like their sponsored ads, like their review program. So it's definitely important to have this and something to consider. And then fourth challenge is that you just need expertise, because Amazon is a beast, and although it all looks pretty simple, you really need an expert or someone who's very focused on it to launch your business on Amazon. And then talking about marketing accounts, so a huge benefit of working with specific marketing retailers, with a Nordstrom, with a Whole Foods, with a Goop.com, is that they have access to more targeted shoppers. They have a specific shopper that they define. They know the demographics, they know their interests, and you get access to that more targeted shopper when working with them. You can also build and leverage your brands by partnering with established and leading players. So it's a great brand builder. If a Nordstrom, for example, launches your brand, well, that's great. It's going to give you lots of visibility. And believe me, if you have an e-shop or you have a website, your traffic will go up for sure. If you do business on Amazon, your traffic will go up. They are true brand builders where people explore. You have the benefit of the retailer's marketing as well. These retailers have catalogs that they send out. They have lots of email blasts that they send out. If they have an in-store presence, well, you can maybe benefit from that as well. They have certain catalogs on their website that they will boost. Now with the holidays, you will have gift guides where they boost certain items. So that's the retailer's marketing that you can benefit from when working with them. And then a last benefit of working with these marketing accounts is their fulfillment center. So many of these have their own fulfillment center where you can send your product to. So in that case, you don't have to, you can basically ship out bigger orders in bulk instead of shipping out single orders. But I will come back to this in the challenges, because with the times today, a few things have changed there. So the challenges, I think the first and biggest challenge is how to get access to that retailer. It's not easy to find a buyer and get a meeting with a buyer to present your brand. So having a network is really key there. Knowing someone who knows the industry and who has access to all these buyers and can easily set up a meeting, that's key to success and to get a first conversation with marketing accounts. Doesn't mean when you have a first meeting that you're selected, of course. So the second challenge is selection by these retailers. In some cases, you might have to adapt your assortment to the needs of the retailer and show flexibility where it's possible. Highly depends again on your products and on the assortment that you have. But you will have to convince that retailer to make space for your brand or to find a fit. A third challenge is warehousing and dropship, where I spoke about the fulfillment centers of the retailers before as a benefit. Nowadays, it is a fact that many retailers expect brands to dropship. And to make sure that you're all familiar with dropshipping, what does this mean? It means that you have to be set up to ship every single order that the retailers get, that you have to ship them out as a single order. So you receive the order, and in your own local fulfillment center, you put the box together of the products that they want, and then you ship it to the end consumer. So there's basically zero responsibility for the retailer here. The only thing that you get, which is pretty huge though, but you get the presence on their website, and everything goes through their website, of course. So that's a challenge of today. And now post-COVID, many retailers, many marketing accounts only allow new brands that are set up for dropship. So definitely something to keep in mind, and where you would need a local warehousing system for it. And so a 3PL warehouse. And then lastly, but not unimportantly, the importance of branding or a website. If you have a very new brand and you don't have any visibility online, or you don't have any websites or e-shop online or any presence yet, well, it's going to be more difficult to convince that buyer to take your products. So that's why I want to link back again to having your own e-shop or website in the US, or accessible to the US, with preferably copy in English, but it's very important to have that to make your brands, of course, credible. So now in the second part, I want to elaborate a little bit on other essential steps to an e-commerce launch, because okay, the strategy part is one thing, but there's other things that are definitely also important. Give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. So we already spoke briefly about sales and marketing strategy and the 3 pillars, and now I'll touch on the other topics that are also very important. So how to further drive results. And that's catalog optimization. And what do I mean with catalog optimization? 2 things. First of all, make sure your pricing and profitability are right. Make sure you do a profitability analysis from the start and know what to expect. That you know what costs that Amazon will ask you when you work with them. That you know what margin requirements the retailer has, and maybe if there's extra marketing budget that you have to foresee to just give to the retailers. These are things that you have to know in advance, because of course, any business that you do, you want to make sure that it's successful and profitable. Secondly, the product offer. Make sure that your product offer is set up for success on e-commerce. And this is a simple example of cookies. If you have single pack cookies, that's great, but that's not really configuration that will be successful online. You have to foresee multi-packs, because that's what people will buy. You have to foresee variation packs, so they get introduced to other tastes within your cookie assortments. Variations and bundles, pack sizes, maybe it's exclusive items or capsule collections, but just make sure that your product offer is set up for success for e-commerce. Then thirdly, content and review enhancements. And I cannot stress this enough, how important it is. First of all, having great visual assets. A visual is worth 1,000 words, and it's the truth. It's a fact. Lots of people even shop online just looking at visuals. So you want to make sure that your visuals are spot on. Have great imagery of your product, just product shots, lifestyle shots, making sure that the product is seen in its full glory. Have videos about the product. If you have those available, use them online. Work with infographics to tell the story of the brand, or to emphasize the most important features of your products. And then specifically for Amazon, work on detail pages, work on a brand store to really tell the full story. Secondly, copy. Copy is also very important, not only to tell your story, of course, but also to make sure it's optimized for SEO, and making sure that your copy will attract people to your specific page. Variations, and I briefly spoke about that on the last slide already, but just making sure that there's other options for people to be inspired to. Even if you have a product available in 4 colors and 90% of the sales go to that one color, just having the ability to show multiple colors really inspires people to buy. It is a fact. It's been proven that way. But also in terms of prices, also in terms of sizes. So depending on your product, make sure that there's a collection available to variate. And then lastly, reviews. super important. No one buys a product with no reviews, or they have to be incentivized to do that. So it's definitely something you have to work on, and you can work on getting those initial reviews in to win that buy box when you compete with someone without reviews. They will also boost the organic ranking of your products, which is also something that should always be worked on e-commerce. And then the next piece I want to talk about briefly is promotional planning. So promotion is king as well. In the US, everyone loves promotions here. I listed a bunch of special days for promotions in the States on the left-hand side. And it's something that is good to also build in your plan. Having the option to, from time to time, offer a discount, or maybe it's a coupon code, or maybe it's a special one-day deal. But you want to participate in this in the States, because lots of people are really focusing their shopping on those particular times. And then lastly, digital tactics. And this is, of course, very broad, but what you want to do is convert those consumers with a high purchase intent, or re-engage shoppers to drive conversion. So making sure that people who have already a little bit of interest in your products, to convert them and buy your products. This can go with email management. If you have your own e-shop, for example, you can work together with press or influencers to really drive business, drive your own e-shop, but also drive your business on Amazon. And then on the right-hand side, you see Amazon's AMS, AMG. So basically, it's their own tool that they have to really boost the visibility of your products. So you're basically advertising, which will lead to more clicks, more conversion, creation of reviews, and then a boost of your organic ranking. So there's lots of tools out there, but it has to be a part of your plan. So as a conclusion, I just want to mention some final thoughts. First of all, e-commerce is on fire in the US, mainly due to the pandemic, but we see that the US e-commerce growth jumps now to even 30%, which is a very high number. It's all been accelerated, although the e-commerce growth was expected. There's an acceleration of over 2 years here, which is huge. And we see that many of those top retailers on e-commerce are really performing super well. So e-commerce is on fire. If you've been doubting about it, the time is definitely right. But carefully analyze if your product is right to be sold online, and if it's a product of interest at this point in time. Be prepared to invest a budget to be set up for success. If you want to try it out, but you're not willing to invest, not sure if it's going to be a success. So be prepared to invest some money. And then lastly, work with people who have the knowledge to build business, who understands the needs of e-commerce, and who have a network within retail for your products. Having people locally who really know what they do and know what is needed is a really important step to success as well. So this was my last slides. We'll have some more questions at the end of the presentation, but I'll give the floor to Caroline now.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for this super interesting presentation. Next up is Charlotte Meirschaert, as mentioned. She's Business Development Manager at Bekina Boots, which is a very successful Flemish company that produces and develops safety boots. Charlotte, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlotte from Bekina Boots in Kluisbergen, Belgium. I will tell you our experience in the States, and on Amazon.com. So first of all, Bekina Boots is a company that makes polyurethane safety boots. It's not rubber, it's not PVC, it's PU. and it demands a very specific production process and a lot of experience to make our boots. We are a family-owned company, third generation, and everything is made in Belgium, also because the process of making the boots is very specific, so we don't want to have it in our own hands. We export our boots to about 60 countries worldwide. When I started at Bekina Boots, mid-2018, I was responsible for the follow-up of the States and other countries. Concerning USA, we received many leads and requests. We were used to send those leads to our existing distributors over there, but the same way we do it in Europe, and we hoped they would handle them. The problem was that many leads did not get handled, and we were losing control. We did not have the real partnerships like we have in Canada, South America, Germany, Spain, etc. It was clear that USA is just a totally different market. It's totally different from Europe, that's for sure. And we already went to several fairs to feel the market. So we felt that we needed to be there, that we needed to be in the States. Why? Because for sure, for Bekina, there is a big potential in food processing, where we sell a lot of our boots. Industry is huge in the States. AG, agriculture, also is very big. Fishery, we just developed a new boot together with fishermen in Alaska, and 80% of that industry is based in the States, in Alaska, East Coast, West Coast. So our target audience, our goal was there for that segment. So the old way of working for Bekina, let's say selling by containers, did not work for us. So we needed to change this model. And have our own company there, have our own stock there, our sales team. So we decided to create a US company, Bekina Inc. We created a bank account in the States, and we tried to perform local, because one of the things that is very clear in the States is Americans buy from Americans, especially now since COVID-19. So we soon realized, once that our sales rep team started, that we also needed to invest. And a part of that, we needed first to convince the people here in Belgium, in Kluisbergen, the board of directors, the rest of the team, ICT, logistics, finance, that USA is a totally different world. You cannot compare the States with Europe at all. There are so many cultural differences, way of thinking, acting, talking. So it's very important to make clear that this difference is there, and that everybody in the company knows it. Concerning marketing, this is key in the States. Sales is marketing, and marketing is sales. So we needed a US website. We already have a .com website, but the products we sell in Europe, for instance, are different from the products that we are selling in the States. Different certifications, different colors that people want, different safety levels, and so on. So we needed a separate website. And we needed also selling points as soon as possible. So as I was already busy with Amazon in Europe, we decided very quickly to go on Amazon in the States. As well. So immediately we had already our warehouse in Chicago. So we just needed to make sure that we had our products online and people could buy them. In the meantime, our sales team in the States would also go to the retail accounts, to distributors, to end users, food processing companies, etc. So we would go both ways at the same time. I will go deeper into Amazon in a few seconds. First, just in short, administration and logistics when you go to the States. As you all know, USA is not about centimeters, kilo, it's about inches, it's about pounds. The numbers are different. They use dots and commas different in numbers. They do not use A4, they use letter format. Dates are different, sizes are different. So all this you have to take into account when you start selling in the States, because your ERP system need to be adjusted, accountancy need adjustments. Americans, for instance, they still love to pay by check or credit card. Only the bigger ones will pay by wire transfer, and even then, we supply a food processing plant of Walmart, the biggest one of the biggest players in the market, but every invoice is paid by check. So it's it's really incredible. And then you also have the taxes. You have taxes per state, per county. You have taxes on sales, on transport. It does not matter what the invoice address is. You pay taxes in the states where you deliver. So also B2B and B2C, it's different in the States from Europe. But anyway, FIT will organize, I think, a separate webinar about taxes in the States. So soon you will have more explanations about this. Now, what is our experience for Bekina Boots with Amazon.com? So for sure, all Americans buy on Amazon. Some of them buy literally everything on Amazon. So Bekina, with our boots, we needed to be there for B2C and B2B customers. We could not do this from Belgium. We needed an agency specialized in Amazon to help us at Amazon.com, because it's not the same in the States as in Germany or in the UK. The language is different. It has to be in American style. The pictures need to look different. You do not talk in our sector about Wellingtons like in the UK. You talk about rubber boots. Even when they are not made from rubber, we talk about rubber boots and so on. So if you have an agency specialized in Amazon.com like we have, they know how to create your account, your store, how to tell the story, how to advertise. It's important that they have the experience so that you don't have to invest a lot of time in that, and you can trust on them. It's great knowing that you have an agency like that, because Bekina is a small company. We didn't have the people and the time to invest in all those things. So the best way to go for us when we went on Amazon was to be FBA, so we were Prime, but also because we then decided to stock at Amazon.com, so that Amazon does the shipping, the invoicing, the returns. The only thing, and one of the most important things that we needed to take into account and to make sure was that we never run out of stock. Very important if you sell on Amazon and you have, for instance, a bestseller, and then suddenly that's out of stock. Yeah, that's just all the effort you did, it's gone. So it's really important that you never run out of stock. Therefore, what is also important to make sure that you don't run out of stock is to have a good logistics partner. So who can ship very fast, who can repack easily, who knows Amazon. Our partner, for instance, has access to our logistics part of our seller account. So they finalize the shipments in our account. They add the truck details, the packaging details, they print the correct labels, and then they ship it and track it. So and they just inform us that it has left, and I can follow in Amazon where the shipments are. Another reason why we wanted to be on Amazon very fast in the States was because we were not on Amazon yet in the States. Only 2 companies were selling 2 or even 1 type of boot. That's it. So we needed to be there to have control about our pricings, to show the right pictures, to give the right information, and to make sure we were the first ones there, because compared to Europe, where we have a lot of resellers who break our price, and we have a lot of work to make sure that we have the right price on Amazon. We could start in the States already barely from scratch, and that's a very big advantage. On the other hand, Bekina was not known yet, so we needed to invest a lot of time and budget in marketing campaigns, promotions, etc., to make sure that people will find us. And now we see they start finding us. Luckily, the sales is ramping up. We are getting more reviews. Luckily, they are also very positive. So yeah, it's important to invest. For instance, reviews, like Charlotte also explained, is very, very important. You need to invest a lot in this. Reviews help you with your sales. Without reviews, you will not score very high unless indeed you have maybe a niche product. The more reviews you have, the better. There are different programs that can help you with those reviews. So this means programs. So to summarize a little bit, because I don't want to talk too much, if you start in the States and you start on Amazon and or with a web shop and or with a retail account, which we also have, some key important things to bear in mind, which what we experience is go local. The more American you look, the better. Adapt your process, your writing, way of paying, thinking, etc. to the American style. Go for a very good logistics partner that you can trust for Amazon, but also for the big retailers. Like Charlotte said, if you want to be in for the big retailers, you need first to prove yourself and need to do drop shipments. They will only stock your products when they see that people ask for your products, and then they will make space in the warehouse and start stocking your products, but in the offline shops. But first you need to prove yourself online and do the shipping and all those things yourself. The whole process in the States is trial and error. When we started, we had a logistics partner in the States, so we had to look for one. So we thought we use a company that we also use in Belgium, and we will be good in the States as well. But it was not. There was not a good relationship, and we just stopped after a few months and moved the whole inventory during Christmas times last year to another company with also a small office in Belgium, but with American roots. And now the support relationship is just awesome, and they have a lot of experience in the States, and that's what we needed. Another thing that's very important is go for local agencies to help you with marketing, Amazon, accountancy, and so on. Make sure you can invest in marketing. Without marketing, no sales. Charlotte also mentioned it. You need to foresee a budget time. So it's very important. Otherwise, it's better not to start with it. So of course, this is my experience in our sector. I'm sure that in other sectors, it's slightly different. We started our journey of Bekina Inc. beginning 2019, and we started selling on Amazon.com March, April this year. So it's still new for us, and we are still trying to find our way out there. But every day, every week, we learn. So, but it's a great experience. Yeah, I wish you all good luck with it, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for this presentation. I have not seen any specific question come into the chat box. If you do were to have any questions, feel free to post them now. I think maybe in the meantime, just a question to get it going is you both mentioned how important the reviews are, and Charlotte Meirschaert, you mentioned that there are some tools that you can use, but I was just wondering if you can get me some more explanation on that. Like if you're not active online, how do you start even getting your first review?
I think maybe, Charlotte, it's better you answer because you have more experience with different sectors.
Yeah, I'm back. Hopefully everyone hears me now. But yeah, so Amazon specifically has certain programs that you can follow to boost your reviews. They have become very tricky about true, real reviews. So I would say 5 years ago, everyone could basically write reviews, even though you didn't buy it on Amazon. Now that's not possible anymore. But they have an early reviewer program. So if you're a brand new brand, you can submit for a early reviewer program, which just basically encourages the first shoppers to write a review online. And they also have a Vine review program. So with Vine, you basically subscribe your products to be sent out to reviewers that are a fit for your brand. So they send out an email. They have this huge group of reviewers. If someone finds this product a fit, they send it over. You have to pay for this program. You also have to pay for the product and shipments. So it comes at a cost, but you can have tons of reviews this way, and it definitely helps to boost the business. So yeah, that's just a great way to start with reviews. But if you have your own e-shop, or if it's a product that your friends would be very interested in, it always helps to just ask friends and family to buy your products. Even, for example, if it's food, or if it's something that is just something that lots of people want. This is very easily to just ask your friends and family, buy it, write a review, and help us support our business. And this usually is the cheapest and fastest way. But so Amazon definitely has some specific tools to do this as well. Another thing that I want to say about this is there are programs available where if you imagine you do business with a few different department stores and you have your own e-shop, there are programs available where all the reviews of your own e-shop are gathered and are just sent out to all the retailers. So for example, you get 10 new reviews on your own e-shop, well, Macy's will instantly get those reviews as well. And Nordstrom will get those reviews as well. So very interesting program, and very interesting if you really want to build your business on a higher level with all these different e-commerce channels. It's interesting to look at that, because reviews are exactly everything basically to become successful and to boost your business.
Thank you very much for that. Another question that came in is, do you have any company recommendations for the logistics in the US?
According to logistics, it all depends where you need to be. For us, Chicago was the central area where we needed to be. But yeah, if you work on e-commerce and Amazon, you can be everywhere, of course. But we work together with a US company called Crane Logistics, and we are very happy with them. Most important thing is that you ask if they have experience with Amazon, with Walmart. You ask if they can do piece picking. Yeah, it depends on if you're only focused on e-commerce. There are a lot of logistic partners, I think, that can help you. But we had our e-commerce, but also our normal business. So we needed to ship pallets and full trucks as well. So it all depends on what your requirements are. You can start looking. You can also use the ones that are also in Belgium active. It all depends on the sector and on what type of customers you want to address. If it's only e-commerce, maybe it's better to choose a partner that's focused only on that.
Mm-hmm. And I want to maybe add just one more thing to this, and agree with everything that Charlotte said. It's really depending on your business goals. But I have a contact at one logistics company that very much specializes in e-commerce business. And what I mean with that is Amazon is their #1 client, and they drop ship to everyone else, basically. But they are also set up for specific products. For example, if you own a chocolate brand and which is temperature sensitive, they can deliver you that service as well to make sure it's protected and it's stored at the right temperature, let's say. So I don't know, Caroline, if you can maybe share that afterwards. The company name is Longtail, and my contact there is Walter Roy, but I can share more details with Caroline that she can maybe share with you.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you, Ard, for that. Another question that came in. If I'm a Belgian company wanting to sell in the USA, should I keep my stock in a fulfillment center of Amazon in the US? Or I assume the question would be, or have your own warehouse?
So I think it's really important to know what your initial plans are. If you want to do business in the US and you're mainly focusing on Amazon, or that's your first goal, then I think FBA is the perfect answer. So yes, then you should work with Amazon's fulfillment center to stock your products. Like Charlotte mentioned, very important to make sure that you keep your inventory levels good. Okay, you're never going out of stock, so you just have to follow that up very nicely. But it's perfectly feasible to send your product to Amazon. If you have your own e-shop in the US, or if you work with marketing accounts, then you won't be able to, well, probably a few exceptions, but you won't be able to really build your business without having local inventory and local warehousing. So just because all these retailers expect drop shipping, or they expect fast delivery, which is not something that can be that you can do when you ship out of Belgium. So I think it depends on strategy, but if you say, okay, let's first focus on Amazon and start with that, I think that would be a good approach.
Okay, next question. Can we sell or offer any energy systems within this e-commerce system? Or is that too vague? Should I, Geert, maybe in the chat give some more details? Another question in the meantime, could you recommend an Amazon marketing company?
So it depends what you exactly mean with a marketing company.
Yeah, because they mentioned that they already have a website, but they also want to enter Amazon, as they also have government sales program, but it's still frustrating. So they would look for someone that could help them with that.
So with existing businesses, well, definitely working with an Amazon firm or someone specializing in Amazon marketing is a great idea, also to solving certain matters. Pinch offers that, so I can always have a conversation with you, but there's definitely lots of these things that should be solved locally, and the marketing tools is definitely a service that we deliver. So happy to have a conversation.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. So here now added something, IPS smart grid independent power systems. If they would want to sell those type of products online, would you have any recommendations?
I think this is a very specific product, and I would love to do some more research before answering this here on this chat.
Mm-hmm. Maybe for this year, it would be interesting for you to contact Charlotte directly, because it's very specific. Okay, I think those were all the questions so far. I want to thank both of you, Charlotte, for your very interesting presentations today. I hope everyone had took on a lot of knowledge and learned a lot more. As mentioned, there will be a follow-up webinar based on this one, purely about legals and tax issues when it comes to e-commerce, because we did notice that a lot of you asked some questions about that beforehand. So subscribe, it's already on our website to show interest. And so in the next coming days, sorry, just some questions are coming in. I'm just making sure that one more question, sorry. Is it easy to control your pricing on Amazon to avoid price competition with traditional distributors?
So I
feel like it's an interesting question, so I just want to add that.
It is a great question, Even, and there's so much to say about pricing on Amazon. And I saw in one of the initial comments, someone mentioned a brand registry as well. I think that's why having your brand registered from the start is very important, and just making sure that they see you as a company, as an owner of your brand, because then you can decide who else can sell your product to, because it's a fact that everyone can sell products on Amazon. If I buy some stuff in a store and want to sell it on Amazon, that's basically possible, as crazy as it sounds. So you have to be prepared for that. So brand registry is key, and basically also controlling the people who sell the product. So that's why you have to control your branding on Amazon as well, and not let others sell your product before you're going on Amazon yourself. I think it's definitely difficult when lots of other brands sell your products already to control pricing. That can lead to long, difficult issues. But if you control it from the start, it should be your issues should be limited. Amazon fulfillment centers do not work with consignment stock systems. I just see that question here popping up. So you basically your inventory is always yours. So you send it to Amazon, and if it's sold, then the product goes out of the inventory. If it's not sold, then the product just stays in, but you can also pull it back if that will be needed. So it stays in your it stays your product basically.
Okay, maybe the one before that, just to touch base, they're asking if Pinch Marketing, your company, Charlotte, would be able to help with a healthy homemade freezer chocolate, if that's something you have a lot of knowledge about.
Yeah, and I would love to have separate conversations about this, because there's definitely specifically about these specific categories. There's so much more to say.
Yeah,
so I in the presentation I also added my email address at the very last slide. So for everyone, feel free to just shoot me an email, and then I can share some thoughts per email, or we can schedule in a brief call to see if we can help you out.
Okay, great. Well, I think this rounds up the end of this webinar. Again, on December 3rd, a follow-up Q&A webinar about legals and tax. Charlotte Meirschaert and Charlotte Volcke, both of you, thank you very, very much. And everyone, have a great evening. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.